Hey everyone, welcome to day 74 of building the flight booking engine. I'm sorry for starting late. I've had a long day. It's been quite a long day, and I was trying to contemplate, should I have the stream? Should I cancel it? Should I have the stream? But I just took a shower very fast and said, you know what? Let me have the stream, even if it's short, so that at least I have progress. Sometimes when you break momentum, it can affect you. And tomorrow is also another hectic day for me, even more hectic than today. So I thought it wise to have the stream today than tomorrow, because I want to wrap up this, because the next stream I wanted it to deal with the deployment, okay? So that I can work towards wrapping up this project and talking about other things. Yeah, so like I said, I've had a long day this side. I think it's coming to either, yeah, it's actually 10, about 2 minutes past 10 p.m. my time, but it's okay. I want to walk through a few things. So yesterday, you saw me generate the UI for the sitemap that is responsible for showing the sitemap, okay? But there were a few things that went wrong, okay? And I made a mistake that I shouldn't have done. I've discovered one thing is that if you want AI to do for you something correctly, don't give it a large task to do. Okay. Just like we always do things, okay? In your head, understand the task that you want it to do, then tell it, then have that task in your mind, okay? Break down the task into smaller tasks, then give those smaller subtasks to it, okay? That's how I think you can have code generation better. And just to show you maybe this quickly, you can see that we have the sitemap. Let me zoom in a little bit. Okay. We have the sitemap. This is like the key, okay, showing you the colors. So this green shows that the seat is free. This one shows that it's preferred. This blue is for a selected seat. This icon, okay, of a person. Let me try, can zoom in a lot. Okay, this other one here shows that it has been occupied. Okay, and this one here shows the airplane wing. Okay, yeah. So, and this other one shows that it has been blocked. So it's now okay. Let me zoom out a little bit. So now we have now the cockpit, the location of the cockpit. Then we have the actual seat. You see, when I hover over this, you look at the color. It says preferred. Okay, this is a preferred seat. When I hover, you see the borders change. Okay, and then this is the IO. Okay, so these ones have been blocked. Okay, according to the, I think occupied. Yeah, this is occupied. Not these are occupied. I need to improve the color coding a little bit. Then are you seeing the wing? This is the wing, but this has to change also. Okay, but this is the wing. Are you seeing? It's the wing, and it follows the coordinates I showed you last time in day 73. Then here the exits are shown. Of course, this also depends on the aircraft, not that, okay? So it has to be dynamic in such a way that it renders the plane and the cabin according to the aircraft design, okay? According to the width, length, like that, okay? So you can see that the exits have also been shown. Okay, and then here we can see that these are like washrooms, okay, and we have to have some coffee and stuff like that. So I wanted to show you something. If I zoom out and I hover over a seat, I think I get the seat details, okay, here in the on the right. Okay, says selection details. The seat number is 5F economy. Okay, Says there's a leg room, it's next to a window. Okay, it shows you the best fare. Okay, yeah. Even this, see, whenever I go to a particular seat, it keeps changing. Okay, so this one here you see economy, but it's taken. Okay, and all these are this is $20. Okay, yeah. So I need to. I guess this one has no free seats. It's next to a window. Also, this is economy next to the wing. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, not so bad. It's been not so bad. Yeah, there are a number of things that need to be handled. I was actually thinking about the need to handle more than one passenger. Okay. When after you've paid, you should be able to handle more than one passenger. That is something which I haven't yet done. Okay. Yeah, because imagine you have an adult, because right now it's only an adult. Okay. So imagine I have an adult, and then on top of the adult, I have two children. Okay. You should be able to select the seats for the adults and the children. And then I've also realized something as soon as I joined the stream is that if possible, okay, because I'm using the self-service APIs, which are free, I want to only show free seats. Okay. The seats that need to be paid for, the client should pay for them on the airline's website when they are checking in. Okay. Because I want check-in to be strictly on the airline's website. That is something I need to ensure you get. So yeah, that's what is going on in my mind. And right now I'm open to ideas. Okay. If you have any idea, please do not hesitate. I want to drag this my face, maybe this other side, to avoid it blocking. Yeah, so I think you see it now. Okay. If you have any idea, but the code is right here, and it's not that hard actually. It's not hard. I've looked at it. There are things I need to change. Let me tell you, when I got so busy, I began considering the fact that number one, because of maybe work and trying to balance so many things, I rush, okay, to do things these days, especially when in these live streams. And I've learned a lesson actually from this sitemap that sometimes when you're very busy, you just need to take time and just go back to the basics. That even if you're using AI to generate the UI, you need to still apply basics like solving problems, okay, by breaking them down into smaller chunks. And this is a hard fact, okay, because I did not do that when using AI to generate the UI, I would have finished the implementation of the sitemap if I did it manually by hand coding. Yeah. So what I want to do going forward is I just want to review the code right now that the AI generated. Then I'm going to the things I need to add. I think I might just add them manually. Yeah, push the code and yeah, wrap up. I want to wrap up this project. I want to do so many. Yeah, MVP time has reached. I want to test it. Okay, I don't want to add so many things and then when I go to my guys to test the thing, they're like, "Oh man, change this." Okay, and that has beaten me many times. Okay, where you build something and it's almost at the end or at the end, you give it the users and it's the total opposite. Yeah, that's a mistake I made. I should have actually deployed the front end because the backend was already deployed. Deploy the front end too. Then every week, ask for feedback. That's what should have happened. Rohan says, are we handling rest conditions when a free seat is being booked by multiple end users? Rohan, on our end, we are not handling that, okay? But Amadeus takes care of that actually for us. Yeah, Amadeus takes care of that. So in case, let us say you book maybe 2 seconds ahead of me, okay? Me who's going to book that same seat 2 seconds later, you'll for you you'll succeed, but me, I will be given an error. Yeah. So no need to handle that. No, but we can actually. We can. It can be a second layer of handling rest conditions. But I didn't want to go into that because Amadeus on their side, they take care of that. So let's look at some of this code. It's not actually a lot. Yeah, I just want to focus on the front end components because at the end, guys, the bigger a project goes, the more complex a project becomes. Okay, the more important it is for us to understand the code. If you don't understand the code, I don't know what to say. It can be a total mess. You get a total mess. A total mess. I don't know if you've seen it. It can be a total mess. I am working on a backend for a client in Nigeria, and I was required to refactor the payments after someone. I mean, before someone signs a contract, okay, on a certain project we are working on. But I spent a lot of time reading the code, okay, because I think the developer was rushing, and so the AI generated the thing, okay, and so many things were repeated in so many places that whenever I would follow a path, okay, of a feature in the code base, I would keep on getting repetitions, and it took me time, okay. It was a real headache. And when I called on the guy, because actually he onboarded me before leaving, but at some point he admitted, okay, and got lost, said, man, you know what? AI was helping me out here. I'm not that good actually at backend. But in case of anything, let me know. So yeah, still shows the importance of understanding everything that we do. So I'll just drag this first thing this side. Okay. Yeah, but Rohan, if you think it's important to have a rest condition management, please let me know. Okay. Let me know. I'm open to take up ideas. So okay, let me expand this. Let's walk through it. Let's walk through this code. So you see, it says use client. Why? Because this is the component that will be rendered on the client. Okay, in the browser. In Next.js, without use client, it means it's going to be created at the backend. As simple as that. Then the next thing is we import React, okay? And then use state, use memo, callback. Okay, these are the usual React hooks that we use. Then a number of icons, okay? From React icons, I import toilet, coffee, door open, user lock, FL lock, check circle, exclamation triangle, okay? Just for the UI. Then we have other React icons, okay? Exit, plain wing, okay? Simply icons. What you see if I go here, okay? So you see all this key has icons, okay? These seats, if I go to here, you see these seats for exit, okay? The toilets and coffee, all these are the icons. Then there are types, okay? And again, yeah, these types have to be put in a separate file, okay? I'm going to do the front end. In a few coming days, you're going to see major changes on the front end. I'm not going to live stream them, okay? I'm just going to change them and push, okay? So by the time the MVP is done, I want to make sure that at least the code is clean, really clean and efficient. And when I push the code, you'll see it on GitHub, okay? But of course, like I said, once the MVP is done, I can share building stuff, but I won't share the code and other features. But for now, yeah, I'm glad we've reached this point. So This is the coordinate I talked about yesterday. So an interface to define a coordinate having an X and Y value. Okay, simple as that. Then we have a price. Okay, an interface defining a price, the total, and the currency. Then we have the traveler pricing. Okay, it is made up of the traveler ID, which is a string, the seat availability status, which is either available, occupied, or blocked. The price is optional and is of type price, which is this other one we just looked at. Then when we go to the seat, this interface seat is what describes the type for a seat. The seat has the seat number. Okay, so like you see this, like 30B, okay, or 29D, 29F, okay, 25F, all those are seat numbers. Okay. Then says coordinates, okay, type of coordinate. Coordinate is up here, okay, the X and Y. Then traveler pricing is this one here up, okay, the type of traveler pricing. So it's a list of traveler pricings. Characteristic codes is also a list of strings. The cabin is optional and is also only one string. Rohan says we can test the app, especially the backend, with multiple concurrent users when the MVP is done. Yeah, that would be nice actually. We'll do that. Yeah, I'm up for that, by the way. Yeah, but I think what I'll do, I'll start releasing in particular regions. Okay, maybe I'll create a form because I know some of you. Okay, of course not by face, but at least I know the names that are always common in the chat and in the comments, so that you can test. I want to have maybe like about 10 or 50 max people testing it from particular IPs, maybe like for a day or so. Then after I'll close it, okay, to allow strong testing from this other side. Because I want this thing to be tested properly, okay, really well, maybe if possibly even a month, okay, as I refactor, taking feedback, improving here and there. Awesome. So the facility also has simply a code, which is a string, and coordinates, which is of type coordinate, okay, and I showed you it's up there. Then we have the deck configuration. That's the width, the length, the seat row, okay, and of course this depends on the plane. The seat row, end seat row, start wing, end wing, start wings row, end wings row, exit wings row, okay, and all these are optionals, okay. And I mean, from here to here, yeah, are optional, okay, but all these are numbers, okay, and you can see the exit rows is a list of numbers you get. So yeah, just types for type safety. Then we have the deck, okay. The deck takes in a deck configuration, which is this one, the seats, which is a list of seats, then the facilities, which is a list of facilities, okay, because we know at least you have more than one seat, more than one facility. Okay, then we have the seatmap props. This is the props for the React component. We have an object called seatmap data, which has a key called decks and is a list of decks. Then we have when you select a seat, okay, a function called on select seat takes the traveler ID as the parameter, okay, and it's a string, takes the seat number, which is a string, and then optional price, okay, because remember, it can be free. If it is free, we no need to pass the price, okay, and the seat, it returns void. Void meaning nothing. Selected seats, okay, says record of type string, okay, and then traveler ID also a string. Okay, so is sub-components memoized for performance. We know why memoization is very, very cool. Okay. So this one, what has been memoized is called seat item. A seat item has been memoized. Okay. Let's look at it. Okay. So memo is a React hook. Okay. So look at what has been memoized. Look at this. Okay. We have a seat. A seat item is made up of a seat, its status, whether it has been selected or not, a function to determine what happens when you hover, what happens when you select, the exit row, and the traveler pricing. Okay, like for hover, okay, like you see when I hover over seats, see what is happening. That is that's the function, okay, which is taking care of that. Do you see how the details keep changing? That is what is responsible. Okay, simply state changing. You get. All right. Let me go back. And then this, I think, let me explain to you this. This is the actual data that comes in. Okay. What I've selected right now is the actual data that is going to be memoized. Then the next part here, okay, is simply the type of data which is being, the types for that data. Okay, so for seat, okay, you see we have seat here and it's of type seat. For status, we define its type to be a string. Is selected is a boolean. On hover is a function, okay, whose parameter is a seat or null, okay, and gives us void, returns nothing. On select, okay, what happens? We pick the seat number and the price, okay, but return void. So the type of hover is this function definition. Type of on select is this function definition. So these two are functions, okay. Simply what happens when we hover over a seat? What happens when we select a seat? Okay, like if I come here and I click on this one, you see what, are you seeing what has happened? I have clicked on this seat. So yeah, I'm seeing some information down here. Says traveler assignment. Okay, so you see, if I click on this one, it changes. Okay, see on select. Do you see that? Isn't that cool? But I have other ideas. Let me tell you something. I like the front end a lot. I love seeing the results of the front end, but I hate writing front end code. If you're here and you're doing front end, let me not discourage you. Okay, front end is so amazing. It just helps us actually to visualize and see what is actually going on. So yeah, cool stuff, right? Let's go back to the code. So now, right in here, okay, I want to show what is going on. So for the seat item, when you pick the price, okay, you pick the price from the traveler pricing, okay, that price, but you know that you have this because it can be nullable. Then if it is chargeable, we check the price, okay, and make an AND operation against the total, the price, the total, but we convert it to a float and check if it is greater than 0. So you know what AND operations do? Okay. For it to be true, both sides, this side and this side must return true. Otherwise, it will be false. Then we have what we call base classes. This is simply Tailwind classes, okay? Tailwind CSS, okay? This is styling class, that relative, okay? We want full width, okay? We want an aspect ratio of 4:5, okay? It is a flex, okay? It's a flex container. The direction is flex column, okay? Align item center, justify item center, rounded for medium devices, border of 2, like I think says maybe border 2 pixels solid, something like that, okay? Everything is being transitioned for 200 milliseconds. So this is just styles, okay, into a variable called base classes. Then we have what they call status classes, okay, an object, okay, having a key called available, whose value is what is chargeable, whether true or false, okay. If chargeable, we apply these styles, okay. If not chargeable, we apply these other styles. So it depends, okay, on whether it is true or false. Then for occupied, we have this style, okay. For blocked, we have this style. For selected, we have this style. You see it? So it varies. Then for the current status, okay, if it is selected, we have it as text as selected. Otherwise, we show the actual status from this variable here. Okay. Then active status class. Okay. We now pick from our status classes, these ones here. Okay. We pick the current status class. Okay. Like if it is selected, okay, it will be this one. Okay. Because remember, this is an object. Okay. So we can pick a value using a key. So, but because of TypeScript, we have to say current status as key of type of that. Okay. These are some of the quirks of TypeScript. I sometimes I don't like TypeScript because of this kind of syntax. Yeah, but this from here, from as, okay, to the end is simply giving a type to current status. That's how briefly I can say it. From as, okay, all these I've selected, okay, right now is giving a type to this. So we have this first part, okay. Then it says or, okay, that if this returns false, is falsy, okay, you know, false in JavaScript, then we have status classes that are available to be shown. That is it. So I can that's the set item. Okay. Then it's a set item dot display name equals to set item. That's why if you go to the UI, are they using it? I don't seem to see it. Okay. But I can render it. Okay. And I like this other this pill down here saying 6E passenger 1 seat reserved and locked. Not true because I can change it. You see, it keeps changing according to what I'm selecting. That blue, can I call it a blue card or a blue pill? Excuse me. Okay, so yeah, there's work to do actually on this sitemap stuff. But yeah, but so far, yeah, looking good. Let me continue. So that is for this sit item, faculty item. Okay. Also is using memo, takes in a code, and the code is, so this is the actual parameter, and this one specifies the type. Okay. So that saying that code is simply a string. Okay. And it simply has another nested function inside it called get icon using a switch statement. Okay. Switch statement returns an icon, okay, depending on the code. If the code is G, give us this icon. If the code is LA, give us this icon. If the code is CL, give us this icon. If the code is ST, give us this icon. Otherwise, by default, simply return this. So I'll close that. Okay. This is faculty item dot display name equals to faculty item. As simple as that. Okay. So I find this pretty interesting, and yeah. So let's now go to the main component. So the main component, okay, you can see simply says export default function sitemap. Okay. And what does the sitemap take? Okay, it takes the sitemap data. What happens when you select, this is a function, the selected seats, the traveler ID. These are the parameters. Okay. The type is sitemap props. You remember sitemap props? It's up here. This one here. Interface sitemap props. Made up of the sitemap data, which is an object having the dex, a list of dex. Okay, and then the function on select seats, I mean selected seats, then the traveler ID. So yeah, so it's simply this, all this is involved in this, or is contained in that interface. Then here, okay, we have a simple use state, okay, saying what happens when you hover a seat, okay. Want to track seats which you are hovering. So it says hovered seat, set hovered seat, okay. It says use state, we either have a seat or nothing. And by default, we have nothing, okay? Because like if I'm here, we won't hover over any. But if I hover, that state changes, okay? What changes that state is set hovered state. Then this first one here is checking for the dex. So it's const dex equals to sitemap data dot dex, okay? And we pick the first one, okay? If there is no deck, we return this JSX, okay, with an icon, which is an FA exclamation triangle, FA exclamation triangle with data, okay? I mean a piece of text saying no sitemap available for this flight, okay? As simple as that. If you want to see this, book, okay? Book and cancel, okay? Book and cancel. In fact, I'm seeing things I can actually change here, okay? I think I'm going to disable this button here. You should be only be able to view seats when you pay, rather. Yeah, because as I've been learning this thing, I've discovered that airlines treat what is it called? Airlines treat the actual order separate from the booking of a seat, paying for a seat. They're like two different things. So there are free seats which can be automatically given at check-in time if you've not selected the seat, but airlines treat them separately. Okay, if I'm wrong, please correct me. Again, guys, if you're enjoying this series, like the video. Okay, like the video, share and share and share. All right, so that's done. I'll close that. Then we're unpacking. Okay, from deck.configuration. Okay, we unpack the width, the length, the exit rows, the start wings, and the end wing. Okay, so all these are data in our configuration, which is up here. The configuration, this is what is being unpacked. There's a term for this in JavaScript, TypeScript. Is it destructuring? Sorry. Guys who do JavaScript, I know some of you are here and you're actually very good at JavaScript and TypeScript. Please remind me. I'm not a JavaScript, TypeScript guru, so I tend to forget those terms. But I think it's destructuring, something like that. I hope I'm correct. Then we have a calculation for setting the row height. Okay, so the row height to this, okay, and the grid padding to that. Okay, this is just to give space between the rows and the grids. Okay, then it says you have a seat grid. Okay, also a use memo, and it is a function. Okay, so an anonymous function. Okay, with a dependency array of the deck, the width, and the length. Okay, so it changes only when one of these change. You get? Yeah. Randolph says, yeah, in the JavaScript world, it's called object destruction. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Randolph. He's actually referring to this. Yeah, this is called when you unpack. Okay. I'm using unpack because of Python. Because in Python, if you had like a tuple, a dictionary, whatever, you do something like this. Okay. And the term is unpacking. But this is called destructuring. Okay. Yeah, don't let me confuse you. So don't go to an interview and say, "Oh, we're unpacking." Okay, you may annoy someone. Today I was listening to a guy on YouTube explaining why a recruiter denied them an opportunity after a phone call interview, and it was just because the guy used words the guy did not want, and the guy was just rude to the guy for no reason. It's crazy. So yeah, sometimes you have to know actually the terms used in these ecosystems. Like in JavaScript, if you say this, someone will, okay, this is a JavaScript developer. But if you say self, it'll be like, whoa, what's happening? Okay. In Python, if you say self, yeah, happy days. If you say this, like, bro, what's going on with you? So yeah, be careful, friends. It matters sometimes, okay? But of course, right now we know what is going on, so no hard energy around that. So let's look at this. So for this one, we have grid, okay? And grid, okay, I'm going to explain to you what it is, okay? We have uh we have a definition, okay, of grid, okay? Wow, this is interesting. It's long when I've seen code like this of uh of TypeScript code like this. It's been a long time. Richard says it shouldn't matter, honestly. Same concept. It is the same. Okay? It is the same. But the challenge we have in our industry, Richard, is that when you're having those phone call interviews many times, you find that you're actually not talking to a technical person. Okay? So HRs have like a list of, I think they're given maybe a list of like maybe keywords or things or buzzwords to listen to look out for. Like of course they'll tell him the client the interview should say ABCD, should mention one of the following, okay? That's the challenge about those phone call interviews and those initial interviews, to test to see if you know certain things. But of course, if it were me, if you go someone technical and they don't have a big head, I mean, like they're not stubborn and they're not just trying to make life difficult for you, they shouldn't be bothered about that. They should actually understand what you're talking about. Yeah. In fact, I think when you're interviewing anybody, I think the goal should be for you to make it easier for that person to pass. Okay. But anyway, that's a conversation for another time. But it's the same concept. So here, check this. Okay. Look at this. This is an interesting type. You see, we have it's either a seat, a facility, or null. Okay, go with me slowly on this. Seat or facility or null. Okay, and then here it shows an array of an array, a nested array. Okay, so it's a grid or a matrix, like you can say. Then after that, its value is this. Okay, its array is this. They do an array dot length. Okay, then because they're trying to build that grid. Remember, they're building the grid. So to build the grid, they do array dot length to get the total length of the thing. Okay, fill. Okay, then in other words, they fill null values. Okay, in the whole thing. You get, for the whole length, they fill null values. Then they map. Okay, of course, map returns a new array. Okay, then they say of course map. Map takes a function. Okay, which returns a list. So this is the nested list. Okay, then they say array width. Okay, dot fill null. Okay, so you're just filling the whole grid. Okay, all the columns and all the rows with null. Guys, I don't know what you think about. Should the concepts be different? The question that I want to hear your thoughts concerning Richard's. I agree with him. I don't know what you guys say. Then you check deck. If the deck has seats, okay, for every seat, okay, we're running a function which turns an object, okay, which does a smart check. So this is an if statement, okay, which compares that the x coordinates of a seat, okay, are less than the length, okay, and should be less than the width. So the x coordinate being less than the length and the y coordinate being less than the width, okay. If this is true, then the grid, okay, at this position, guys, I hope you guys are you understanding this. Please let me know in the chat if you're understanding this, or if you're not understanding it. Okay, if you've just joined, you may need to maybe rewatch later. Sometimes you may need to rewatch something or read it again to grasp it, which is very okay. So if this condition is met, okay, Then we populate this coordinate here, the grid that is at x. Remember, this is x, simply x, y, like I showed you yesterday in the plane, with the seat. S is simply a seat. Okay, so you're saying deck dot seats for every seat. Okay, in the for every seat. Okay, in the deck, we are populating our grid with it. As simple as that. Then for every facility, okay, remember the deck has the seats and the facility. For every facility, okay, we also populate our grid with that facility based on this condition. Okay, and what else? Yeah, then they simply return that grid. Okay, then these are now the functions for handling the selection. See, it says handle select, okay, and it's using the use callback hook. Okay, so which simply returns a, like you see the documentation saying it returns a memoized version of the callback that only changes if one of the inputs has changed. Okay, so yeah, memoization is a very important concept in computer science and software engineering, and yeah. Okay, so this one simply takes the seat number, which is a string, the price, which is optional. So when you say question mark like this in TypeScript, means optional, and then the type is price. Then this one simply runs an on select. Okay, on select simply passes the traveler ID, seat number, and price. So these parameters, okay, are arguments for on select. Then you go to handle hover. Okay, so when you handle hover, okay, I mean handle hover also uses use callback, but the arguments that we're seeing is a seat, so it either exists or can be nothing, null. Okay, and then this parameter is an argument to the function set hovered seat. Then inside here, it is simply GSX. Okay, trust me, you don't need to go through GSX right now. Okay, so you can see we have a legend item, okay, with particular colors. Okay, I'll push this code and you can review it. Okay, I don't have to go through. I find it very boring by the way to go through markup or GSX. You see, then here, look at this logic, okay? For the style, it says grid template columns. Then it says repeat, then the width is dynamic. Smart stuff. Okay. Then for the wing markers, okay? For this, I think where it is wing. Okay. This is the design, okay? The style at the top, do this times row height times that, okay? Yeah, so that's JSX. I do not go through it. Because actually, yeah. So by the time you guys are building this, you guys understand uh HTML, CSS. I don't walk through HTML. We have a React fragment here for the exit rows. Okay. Then for the seat, are you seeing this? We have seat grid.map. Okay. For every row and its position. Okay. It turns again a row.map because it's like a grid. Okay. It is nested. So you have to go for every row. Okay. You again have to do for the inner ones. You get. Yeah. So yeah, pretty interesting. Let me see. Says return row.map. Okay. Then if the cell does not exist, return this JSX. If the code is in the cell, okay, then return a facility item. Like that. Otherwise, we have a seat item here, okay, being given the data. And then if there's an exit row, okay, if this condition is met, do that. So let me not bore you guys by going through JSX. But of course, I hope you guys understand it, okay? You need to understand JSX. Because there's anything, yeah, you'll need to debug it. Then this is the sidebar details, okay? The glass morphism stuff. Then it did. I don't know why this is there. I don't like this, okay? I want I think I just maybe trying to do custom scrolls. I'm seeing a class called vertical text, okay? Writing mode, vertical, left to right, text orientation mixed, okay? Oh, it was doing a custom scroll bar, okay? To be compatible across all browsers. My bad, I'm sorry for ranting too early. So yeah, because I'm seeing with this WebKit, height, okay, custom scroll bar, the track, custom scroll bar, the thumb, custom scroll bar, yeah. So on Hoover, so yeah, it's just editing that. So this is basically the style. Then there are helpers, okay? So this, I think you saw the legend inside there, okay? Inside this, I think there's this other one here. Okay, so there's that. Let me collapse that. So for the legend, it's very simple. Text in there, a color, a label, and an icon. I think the legend is this. Are you seeing these titles up here? This one here, free, preferred. This like I call it a key at the beginning, but what is called a legend, technically. Anybody here who's a data scientist is pissed with me right now, calling it a key. But here it's a legend. So yeah, so these are the parameters, and then these are the types for each of them. So the color is a string, the label is a string, icon is optional, and is a React node. And what does it do? It simply returns also JSX, okay? With some styles and okay, passes in a dynamic color and a dynamic icon and a dynamic label. That's React for you. When I come here, also this other one takes in a code which is a string, okay? And okay, has a map, okay? So if it is W, see if it is W, it means a window. Just the interpretation of what those codes mean. That's the goal of all this, by the way. Okay. That if it is W, it's a window. If it is A, it's an IO. If it is E, it's an exit row. If it is L, it is a legroom plus. If it is a K, it is a bulkhead. If it's an O, it is standard. If it is EK, it is blocked. Okay, then it says return the interpretation of that code from the map. Otherwise, if we don't have it there, then simply give us the same code, return it back to us. So that's what you actually need to do mainly. So that sitemap we've been going through is used here, okay, on that page. Are you seeing this component, sitemap? Okay, it says if there is sitemap data, okay, give us the sitemap, okay, in this div here, okay. This div is a flex call, okay, items center. That's why you see it is in that column orientation, okay. But again, let me not bore you with CSS and Tailwind. But the main goal is to see that the sitemap component is used here, okay? And then we pass the sitemap data and pass the onSelect handler, which is a function, pass the number of selected seats and the traveler ID. Okay, and saying default the first traveler ID for default. Okay, but we need this thing to happen for more than, in case there's more than one traveler. This should handle that case. Okay, but this is not doing that. Okay, that is something I'll need to change later. Okay, I won't create a stream for it. Okay, I don't want to milk. They call it milking. I don't want to milk. So yeah, at least you've understood. If you haven't, please don't hesitate to ask a question. At least you've understood the logic behind that sitemap. I wanted to make sure not only you, even me. Okay, because doing it also makes me better. So the rest is what do you call it, JSX. So you see this close view, okay, close view is simply this blue button here. This one next to my face is the close view. Then set your sitemap simply to false. If I click on it, you see it disappears. I guess I have to zoom out a little bit. Okay, so maybe put my face this other side. So if I click on it, okay, you see it disappears. So it simply says set show sitemap to false. Where can I? Yeah, everything else is simple JSX. So there's a state for show sitemap. Say if it is true, then we render that div. Okay. Yeah, I think that's mainly it. The rest is the same stuff, which I wouldn't want to bore you guys with. Oh, but I've seen a few things. Maybe I can show you. And they're also quite easy, by the way. Handle sitemap. Okay. You know, I've seen, just by walking through this code, I've seen so many things that the front end needs. So many. But I'm not going to create live streams for that. Okay. I'm just going to make sure things deployed, my backend is clean and 100% secure. Make sure the MVP is complete. Start testing. And yeah, focus on user feedback. That is what my main thing is. That's where my heart is. What are the users going to say? Okay. I want the testing to happen. I think I've built enough. In fact, even if I didn't put the seat map, it's very okay. Okay. You can always choose your seat from the airline website. In fact, many clients I've dealt with, by the way, many of my clients are not even bothered about this seat selecting seats. They even don't know about it. They don't even ask. Okay. At check-in, they check in and then they're given a seat. Okay. Very few know about it. So handle open seat map. Okay. This of course is obvious. But of course, it's obvious to me. If it's not obvious to you, please don't hesitate to ask. Okay. There's no stupid question. One of the people I like so much in this world, whom I can call a meta, says there's no stupid question. I know the actual word is there's no dumb question, only dumb answers. So don't fear to ask. Okay. I can only give you a dumb answer. But no question is dumb. Fetch sitemap. Okay. This is where our API comes in. Okay. The backend. Shopping, sitemaps, flight order ID. Okay. And it's a get. Okay. Yeah. So you can see that this is the logic, this is the main guy. Without this guy, we cannot have our sitemap. So this is the logic that makes a request to the backend. So like you see, it's a const fetch sitemap and is an async arrow function, okay, which says set is sitemap loading to true, okay, to help us have that indicator, okay, to show that okay, we are loading data, okay. Then we have the response says await API client dot get any. So this is any because actually earlier I was having issues, okay, with defining the correct type, a consistent type of data from the API for this. That's why I put any for now, but it has to be changed, okay, and I'll change it. Then we simply pass the flight order ID to that endpoint, okay. Then the sitemap data will be at the response at index 0. In case there's an error, we console log it. Of course, in production, I want console log it, okay? I'll show a nice friendly error to the user. I'm going to add those, but that will be offline, okay? Then finally, either way, whether an error happened or things went well, we say set sitemap loading to false, okay? Just to show you, maybe let me refresh the page. I want to force this. Unable to load booking, okay? I guess it was an authentication issue. I like that this happens, okay? It helps us to test our authentication from time to time. Okay. So you see that loading, okay, is because of what I showed you. This set is sitemap loading to true, okay? Okay. You get. Isn't that awesome? That's very, very awesome. Okay. And should see this when I cancel, okay, and I click again, this time it is instant. Who can guess from the functions we have been doing, okay? If you can guess, put in the chat why that when I click here, it does not do a load again. If you don't, it's okay. But I want you to like go and read the code again and yeah, understand it. So this is done. Yeah, I think that's all. This handling payment. All right, so guys, that's the sitemap. Okay, so what is remaining is simply now saving it on the back end. Okay, I'll just add a button saying save sit. When you click, it will make a request to the backend to save. But I'm not doing that now. I'm really tired. Okay, so I'll do it maybe offline tomorrow. Tomorrow is a long day. So I think we shall have a stream the next day. Okay, Friday. So yeah, wish me luck. I hope tomorrow I can get time to do that. If I can't do it, then Friday, I can do that and maybe show you at the end of that stream, because I wanted the next stream to focus on maybe deployment and something else. Okay, something else. I want to wrap up this thing. Rohan says it is cached on the client's device. Yeah, more of like cached in the browser, but you're very close. Yeah, it's all about storing it, memorizing it. Okay, those fancy, did you see those fancy hooks that we're using? Use memo, use callback. They are what are responsible for that. But yeah, you're right. You're close to the idea. Yeah. So catching it on the client disk could mean we are writing to the actual disk, okay, to their hard disk, but it's not the case. It's not the case. So yeah, guys, it's been a journey. It's been a journey. I don't know what you say, Rohan, whether you agree or disagree. I'm open to hear your thoughts. Very, very open to hear your thoughts on the matter. All right, guys, I think I'll just wait for Rohan's response before wrapping up. I think it's been good enough. Let's meet in the next stream. Thank you for joining. Thank you for building with me. Thank you for your ideas. Thank you for your suggestions. Thank you for the company. Thank you for watching. See you in the next stream. But the coming up is microservices. Okay. Microservices with fast API and AI engineering. I want to do AI engineering like a zero to hero. Talking about like maybe have an intro of AI engineering, do something concerning like Python for AI engineering, natural language processing. Okay. And in natural language processing, you see so many things like tokenization, concepts like um, stop words. Okay. Cleaning words, pandas, matplotlib, seaborn. If you work with tools like seaborn and matplotlib, they're not two concepts but tools. Lamentization. This is called limitization, okay, of text. N-grams, okay. If you look at n-grams, n-grams, bigrams, this is trigrams, all the AI engineering things in text processing. After that, there's things concerning tools like LangChain, LangGraph, Hugging Face. What else do we do in AI engineering? There's what else? LLM engineering. Okay. We have AI ethics. Yeah, I think that's it off the top of my mind. That's what comes to my mind. Yeah, but microservice. I'm thinking of doing them concurrently. Okay, microservices, AI engineering, microservices, AI engineering, system design. I feel like every week I should do a system design on the weekend. I don't know what you guys think, but it's been on my mind that every week do one. If not every week, maybe every 2 weeks, a system design, at least one system design, even if it's not a live stream, just a system design. I feel like it's also I'm doing it number one for a personal reason, just to keep sharp in system design, to keep my mind sharp in system thinking. Okay, and yeah, just wanted to share with you those plans. That's what I have on my mind. I don't know what you say. Rohan says the UI looks pretty clean, in, in my opinion. Man, thank AI. Don't thank me, thank AI. Okay. In the board, imagine the board of governors of this project. Okay, and you're reading it's like that joke that they used to tell us when when at university, that when you're reading your speech, you'll be saying something like, I thank ChatGPT, I thank Google, I thank Stack Overflow, I thank YouTube, I thank my friends online for helping me get this degree, instead of thanking your lecturers. Yeah, but I guess, yeah, it's clean. I agree. It's clean, and hopefully it only gets better. Yeah, so I hope this is like the worst it can be. That's what I'm trying to say. What? I'm hearing something for the first time. Do you know that I've used this machine for a long time, guys, and I've never had its fan? It's crazy. And I always put heavy stuff on it. I wonder what is making the fan turn on. I've not had the fan on this machine for 2 years since I owned it. I swear. I am actually shocked. I was like, what sound is that? When I put my ears closer, it's actually the fan. I think I'm killing it. This Docker stuff is killing this machine. Okay. The backend has so many things running. Where's the backend? I think when you're running this backend, okay, with so many services, and you know how Docker can consume, then you add on OBS, okay. I don't know what else is running on this machine, but it's it's making noise, and it's the first time. I had never even once had the machine. Ron says that's how the speeches are going to sound like in the future. Yeah, definitely. I'm curious how you guys use AI. But anyway, let me wrap up. Let me not drag this. Okay. I think for the guys who watch later, they find it annoying when they find, oh, this stream was 1 hour long, but he spent the last 10 minutes just talking rubbish. Oh, Rohan, thank you. I see. Anti-gravity takes a lot of resources. I get it now. Yeah, so I think it's actually now using swap memory. I think I'll switch to, let me kill all these containers. There are actually many, by the way. There are 7 services. Let me stop them. Then also come here and stop the front end. Okay. That's a nice tip. Okay. That's a nice tip. The fans are actually still on. Yeah, they're still on, but a bit. I think they're slowing down. And actually, the machine is now warm, but this other one is actually okay. Because I expected it to be having more stuff. This one is actually okay, but this one is actually warm. Interesting. Now, if anti-gravity is taking a lot of resources and you have OBS running and you have Docker, and wow, crazy. All right, guys, thank you for being active participants. Rohan, I appreciate all the insight. Richards, I appreciate. Thank you. Let's meet in the next stream. I guess I'll finish up this offline so that the next stream is about something else. Okay, I don't want to drag something again and again and again. 2 live streams on the same matter is enough. Shouldn't do 3. All right, guys, bye for now.